Good morning, everyone. This is Shri. Today I'm going to talk about one of my market research proposal. So the agenda for today is overview of the problem, what I'm trying to solve, and what's objective of this market research, and who are all the audience and populations to interview, and the market research technique I have adopted, and primary data collection methodology and secondary data collection methodology, and sampling, estimating the time and cost, and finally, the ethical consideration. So, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? So, it is about adventure traveling. Generally, adventure traveler requires a 3 to 6 months of planning, and sometimes it's even a year or even more than that too. And when the adventure travelers, go for a trip, they also have to train for that specific needs. For example, if they have to hike in a high inclination, they have to train both physically as well as mentally. So currently, there is no marketplace or platform for the worldwide adventure travel based on activities. There are many platforms available, but it is more based on just the trips, not based on the activities. And on top of that, there is no personal training focused on that outdoor activities. So, my primary objective is to understand the potential opportunity of a marketplace or a platform, which is a basically adventure travel combined with training. So, the objective of this is to understand the market size for this product, understand the customer's interest, evaluate the product viability and business model, and the unique features to win against the competition. So, as I want to proceed further, I have to identify the stakeholders, identify the customer segments, identify audience interested in the results of this research, and identify the population to interview, and finally identify the set of questions to be asked. So, in this case, the target audience are entrepreneurs, product managers, and C level executives. They are interested in the results of the survey as they wanted to proceed further to create a product and service. The second is the people to interview. The people to interview are the experienced adventurers, novice adventurers, active customers, but they are not pursuing currently adventure now, vendors, guides, and trainers. So, market research techniques. So, there are multiple ways we can collect the data. The first one is primary, the second one is secondary data. So, the secondary data is a pre existing data which is currently available and we can take advantage of that. For example, it could be existing market research, or it could be some demographic statistics, or some trend analysis report, etc. So, in my case, I have used ATA, the market research proposal on adventure tourism, and also demographic statistics about EMEA and North America. And I also analyzed the Google Trend report. On the primary data collection, it's primarily I am collecting the data using my own questionnaires and specific to my needs, which is not pre existing. So, when I wanted to pursue the primary data collection, what are the things I need to do? I can do qualitative, quantitative. What is qualitative? Mobile surveys, online surveys, and social media data, and more of all of these are statistical. And quantitative research is more of in person focus groups, in person individual interview, which is more attached to the emotions of the people. In my case, I wanted to do a two-stage approach. The stage one is a qualitative. I wanted to perform a mobile survey, collect the data, analyze the data, and based on the analysis, I wanted to further drill down and discuss with some limited set of people to understand their pain points or understand the limitations, understand their interest, etc. Sampling. So, how do I want it to proceed? And what market or what size to people I can send the questionnaire? So, there are multiple ways of sampling. For example, in probabilistic, there is simple random sampling, systemic sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling. In non probabilistic, there is a convenient sampling, snowball sampling, judgment sampling, and quota sampling. In my case, I have selected stratified sampling, which is basically dividing the people into groups and then sampling from each of that groups and understand the pattern. I also selected on top of it a snowball sampling. A snowball sampling is basically adding some of your reference people, right? Collecting the data from your own references. So I will combine the stratified and some snowball sampling. As I wanted to stratify it, I will divide the groups or customers into four different segments. One is EMEA, North America, and within EMEA and North America, it would be who are already adventurers, and then the second would be people who are active but not yet adventurers. As I wanted to do sampling, I want to identify the people of interest, and my sampling frame is primarily active people, any active people. Some of them could be adventurers already, some of them are just active, not yet adventurers, and who are of age 15 to 50, and they are from North America and EMEA to start with. The sampling size is based on the acceptable level of sampling error, confidence interval, and the level of standard deviation. So based on all this calculation, I came up with a sampling size of 250 between EMEA and North America. As I get the data collected from all this, I analyze the data further and then visualize the data. Finally, estimating the time and cost. So, cost perspective, I have to take in account the personal expenses, the sampling expenses, the data collection expenses, software expenses, and other expenses. And my budget came around 5,000 for all these expenses. Regarding the time, so I have to get the secondary data, which is pre existing, and then primary data qualitative, which could be sent as a survey and you can receive the result, and then quantitative. Quantitative does take time and it would be 2 weeks, and then finally analysis and visualization. So, totally approximately 1 month. So, finally, one important thing to keep in mind is as we are doing the market research, we need to follow the code of ethics. Basically, treat the respondents professionally, explain the rights of the respondent to them, and make sure it is protected. Don't influence the respondents, protect the privacy of the respondents, and explain the purpose of the use of your data, whatever you collected, and keep the data safe inside your database systems or if someone is handling it. Be transparent to the user about the data, where it is stored, and how it is shared across other third party vendors. And maintain a do not contact list if users don't like to participate in the research. Make sure the users are aware that you are collecting the PII and storing them appropriately. And finally, take special attention when you are dealing with the vulnerable people like children, elderly, or impaired persons. And finally, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, please leave in the comment. Thank you.